Here with Keanu Tanuvasa, BYU defensive lineman. Fun question for you, Keanu, here to kick it off. Most famous person in your phone, contacts?
Most famous person in my phone. Dang, I wasn't prepared for this question.
Brett didn't tee you up for this one, or Kenny?
No, they didn't tee me up for this. Probably Chase Roberts.
Okay.
You know, Chase is probably the top peak there. We were teasing him on the way over when we were flying that Chase is like, you know, the golden boy of BYU, and so everybody loves Chase. Everybody wears Chase's jersey, so probably Chase.
Here's another fun one. You talk about golden boy. The golden item in Provo these days is a dirty soda. Do you have a dirty soda you like from Swig?
Dirty soda. I don't think I've ever had a dirty soda. I'm sorry these questions, but I'm a water dude. I don't really like soda. But if I did have a dirty soda, it'd probably be a Dr. Pepper with vanilla, because I tried my sister's once and it was really good.
Well, Keanu, that's awesome. I appreciate you doing that. Some more serious stuff. Getting on the gridiron here.
Yeah.
Now that media days are here, you've been part of the BYU program for more than half a year now. What's been your favorite part of being at BYU so far?
I think my favorite part has been the team camaraderie that I believe is second to none in this league. I think the team has found a way to be a unit and has found a way to just ultimately be one. And I think that's the greatest thing that you can have as a team, with so many personalities, so many attitudes, and so many different backgrounds. To be able to function and to move as one is something that I love being a part of, and I've seen that BYU flourishes at doing.
How have you embraced some of the new guys that are joining the interior, the defensive line? Since we spoke in spring, I think if Justin Kirkland's joined, how have you kind of, because you're the leader of the group, how have you kind of worked those guys in to kind of get them up to speed?
I think the way we work them in is we've invited them to be themselves. We've gone out a lot, and that's one thing that I love. Again, we find time to be together outside of football, right? We spend a lot of time training, but more than that, I want to get to know his wife. I want to get to know Justin and who he is, what made him who he is, JT, Anisi, why they came in and what they're doing here. And ultimately is to encourage them to be themselves, but to be themselves in the standard of how we hold ourselves at BYU. And in doing that, it's just unified us and allowed us to become best friends, and more than that, family.
On your podcast that you host, you said that you feel like you and this team can be playing in December, Big 12 championship.
Yes, sir.
What gives you confidence that could happen?
I think the confidence comes from everybody playing their own role, and ultimately the blessing of people just buying into the culture. People have found their own ways to radiate the culture of BYU in their own way. And again, coming from so many different backgrounds, it's something that only adds to the fire, is when someone brings something from their own attitude and their own life and adds it in the performance of what we hold ourselves as, and now we're able to go out and be even more of a powerful weapon because of the additions.
Last thing for you, Keanu, what's going to make this defensive line successful this year?
I think the thing that will ultimately set us apart and make us successful is standing by each other. The ability to recognize what the other person is fighting for and keeping them accountable to that, and keeping them accountable to the way that they play. Understanding their capacity is huge, and I know my defensive line better than I've known a lot of players that I've played with, and so from that I'm able to pull out their true motive, their true why, which allows them to perform at their best potential and their best attitude that they have, and so that connection is what's going to separate us from others.
Thanks, Keanu.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Mitch.